Hey, I don't know who need to hear this, man, but, no, I'm lying. Hey, Gucci man, LaFleur, you went and signed 100 from Memphis, Tennessee to try to antagonize Gotti all because he your wife.
Now I'm gonna go bang his girl.
I had already done that.
Oh, okay. So you banged your partner's girl?
Damn, guy. You ain't my friend, man.
Then you dropped them and killed Pooh.
You know, it's almost like a whole show in the industry right now, but when I look at my P&L and me being a businessman, I think that I'm gonna have to release almost all my artists, except for Pooh Shiesty and Foogiano.
And not Gotti done took Pooh Shiesty from you.
I'm the biggest, ain't no CEO or OG over me. I'm CEO.
Hey, Gucci LaFleur, they say when you get married, man, you supposed to always keep your wedding ring on. My bad, Gucci. You don't know where yours is.
Lobries and gentlegrams, Gucci Mane Mr. Too Icy robbed by Pookie. Now they saying Pooh Shiesty? If not in the physical form, then in the residual issues. Contract split through CMG in 1017. Pooh pit two titans head to head over the cheese. See, Pooh's sitting nicely at the top of the chart, signed under Gucci Mane, who still wants to profit off of the art. But Pooh had a change of heart and things had started to get dark, robbing rumors and internet assumers putting Gucci as the target. Let's unpack the situation, top to bottom, nothing vacant. But before we get to breaking, you know what I'm about to say. Squeeze those like and subscribe buttons like Gucci Mane's lemonade.
I study
Rapaholics
for a living.
Now, lobbies and gentlegrams, in honor of Gucci Mane being a goat, let's get this video to 10,017 likes. All right, that's a lot. That would probably be one of the most I've ever had, but I've never asked you guys for a certain number. So 10,017, we're gonna run it on this video. October 6, 2025. Pooh Shiesty is released from federal prison after serving around 3 years of a 63-month sentence related to a 2020 shooting incident in Florida. It took Pooh Shiesty a couple months to actually make his first statement, but when he did, it accomplished a couple important things for hip-hop fans. Number one, it let the world know that in a sea of mediocrity, half-baked albums from hip-hop's biggest street rappers and trap artists, Pooh had surpassed them all with just one song. And all he did was keep it authentic and talk about what was going on in his everyday life. Another important thing he proved to the world is that bars still matter. I mean, this was just a 4-minute song of him straight rapping and it still went to #1 on the charts. That's a very impressive look for an artist within a genre that everyone is saying is losing its mainstream dominance. I mean, he was even beating out Mariah Carey on Christmas. But when you dig deeper into the song, fans had noticed some interesting aspects about Pooh Shiesty's return. On the song, he's got bars like, "Grandma told me keep the grass low, whole time I'm the snake." But even darker than that, he's got a bar where he raps, "Type influence I got where I'm from, I got Yo Gotti toting a Drake." A Drake being slang for Draco and Pooh Shiesty being signed to Gucci Mane, who has a long history of not really getting along with Yo Gotti.
And when I said Gotti was cool until he turned into a buster.
People couldn't tell if Pooh Shiesty was either dissing Yo Gotti here or dissing Gucci Mane, because the bar could be interpreted in two ways. Are you riding with Gucci and you have so much influence where you're from that Yo Gotti needs a Draco on him for protection, or is this your way of saying that even, legends in Memphis like Yo Gotti are influenced by you? Kind of as a way to pay him homage. Why would Pooh Shiesty on his first day out song start rapping about a guy who is beefing with the guy that Pooh Shiesty is signed to? It didn't necessarily make sense, but it does once we unpack it. See, another thing that fans found weird is that when Pooh Shiesty got released, he linked up with Glorilla in the studio, and they were previewing new music.
Let's go. Please don't tell the kids don't get the stills, don't get the blunt, man. Pop out, we take power.
This is also a little strange because Glorilla is signed to Yo Gotti's record label, CMG. So it's unlikely that on that first day out song, Pooh Shiesty was dissing Yo Gotti, because here he is, right as he comes out, linking up with Yo Gotti's artists. Now, on the surface, you can look at this and say it's just an innocent collaboration between two of the biggest artists in mainstream hip-hop right now. But when you look deeper at everything that has happened between Yo Gotti and Gucci Mane and the rumors that are circulating right now about what's been going on with Pooh Shiesty and Gucci Mane...
Hey, Gucci LaFleur, I grew around my granddad and them, bro. They say when you get married, man, you supposed to always keep your wedding ring on. My bad, Gucci. You don't know where yours is.
It becomes apparent that link up was probably one of many calculated tactics to essentially put Gucci Mane in a compromised position. And this is just the beginning. Things could get dark. But in order to understand that, we gotta understand why it would be such a slap in the face to Gucci Mane for Pooh Shiesty to even slightly associate himself with anything related to Yo Gotti.
Some of the stupidest shit the street done heard in a minute. This shit is needed, you know what I'm talking about? It's needed.
I'm telling you now, they charge you for that. I'm cooking it for you. I cook it for you now. I got charge you.
Did that work?
Did that work? Did that work, son? I ain't drop a whole shipment on nigga. Boom, go ahead.
Before Gucci Mane and Yo Gotti were known as some of the biggest CEOs in their cities, with each of them ushering in tons of new superstars into the game. At one point, it was Yo Gotti and Gucci that were the stars trying to build their own rap careers. Even though they were raised in different cities, Gucci and Gotti had similar come-ups in the streets, and both of them actually started pursuing a rap career at the age of 14 years old. Gotti was first up, releasing independent mixtapes as early as 1996, under the name Lil Yo. So just keep that in mind with all this beefing going on currently today. Yo Gotti is 44 years old.
I'm looking for a victim pushing keys on the scheme. I wanna make a stain for $1 million ride clean. I'm coming out on a Friday and I gotta hit the strip.
It was around 2007 where both Gucci and Gotti started making waves in the mainstream, and they quickly began collaborating with each other quite frequently. First on the song Bricks in 2008. Later that year, in June of 2008, they released a mixtape together called Definition of a G.
Go ahead, man. Hey, what next week? We said we'll put it out by next week. Yo, how'd they say?
Well, he don't take what his bag.
He ain't gonna take that.
Nah, he ain't gonna take that.
What?
Somebody do the mixtape.
By next week, we said we're gonna have it.
So you got Yo Gotti up in there.
Yeah.
Looks like you be f***ing Yo Gotti kind of hard right there. How y'all link up?
I met him. I think we met downtown at Upstairs Studio. Just made 2 hard ass songs with my first city, Chicken Talk, and just a real nigga, just like Shouted. Like I don't a lot of niggas in the game, but you know a real nigga when you be around one. You know what I mean? And because it be true talk, you can tell by the tone of voice when he talking the truth. And then even if he talking the truth, he still might not be creative enough to make a song where you want to hear it. There's a lot of factors in there. Why I record with him.
And they collaborated pretty heavily for the next few years, with Gotti even rumored to have potentially signed to Gucci's iconic label 1017 Brick Squad. This was around 2010-2011, but by 2012 they had a problem. See, in October of 2012, on the 17th day of the month to be exact, Gucci Mane was about to release his brand new mixtape, Trap God. See, October's the 10th month of the year, so that release date would make it 1017, the same name as Gucci's label. Now, this was a big project for Gucci just because he caught a big mainstream break in 2009 with his album The State vs. Roger Davis. But after that album, all the way up until the middle of 2011, Gucci Mane would be arrested 5 different times, obviously hindering his actual career. So this was kind of acting like a comeback project for Gucci in a way, and meanwhile, Gotti then announces he's also going to be dropping a project on that day. According to Yo Gotti, he didn't know Gucci was dropping his project on the 17th, but when he found out, he was actually excited that they were both going to release on the same day. He said in an interview, "He's supposed to be my homeboy. I had his phone immediately because I'm thinking, man, we're about to shut it down. Both our projects on the same day." But ultimately, this isn't how Gucci saw it. Yo Gotti says he tried to reach out to talk things through, but Gucci Mane never hit him back or answered any of his calls. Then, right before the release date, Gucci Mane went on Twitter and wrote, "Why would another artist put their mixtape out on 1017 if they're not Brick Squad? You ain't me. Trap God." And once Gotti did get in touch with Gucci, he realized they had a problem and said in another interview, "From that point, I realized homie had an issue for whatever reason." Now, as far as where the issue emerged from Gucci's side of things, he's saying it's because Yo Gotti was not signed to Brick Squad. Gucci was not profiting off of his mixtape, but still he's trying to drop on the same day as Gucci and on a day that's significant to Gucci's brand, Gucci's movement, 1017. He's basically riding Gucci's wave without actually compensating him. That was Gucci's perspective, and he spoke on that in a radio interview, but there's more to the story.
And they're going to think that you're talking crap about Gotti and these other cats. And when
I said Gotti was cool until he turned into a buster.
Right.
So I wasn't saying that we wasn't even cool. I said we was cool until this point right here.
Right. But that's my point.
So what actually happened at that point that you felt like that about Gotti?
My main problem with him was they dropped this mixtape on 1017 and tried to like ride my wave. You know what I'm saying? Like he was an artist of mine and we get some kind of money together. So I just felt like, you know, for an artist to drop their mixtape on 10/17, you know what I'm saying? Which is my label on the day that I drop all my label may drop their mixtape on 10/17. Why would you drop it if you ain't on 10/17? And when I call you as my partner to ask you why you did, you say, oh, I didn't know you were dropping the mixtape. Now the whole world know I'm dropping this mixtape. I'm promoting this mixtape. Both me and you on the top of World Star, you with a freestyle and me with a video, but you say you unaware that this mixtape gonna come. And I got a battle that says come out 10/17.
See, there's always three sides to every story. What one party says, what the other party says, then somewhere in the middle you get the truth. So Gucci's side is that Gotti was trying to ride his wave, dropping on the same day, 10/17. Meanwhile, Gotti goes up to the Breakfast Club right after Gucci has that explosive episode on Twitter, which we'll touch on shortly. But Gotti explains in his interview with the Breakfast Club that Gucci's reason for turning on him is because Gotti featured Young Jeezy on his remix to the song Got That Sack a couple months before 10/17 in July of 2012. Now, just some quick context if you guys didn't know, Gucci and Jeezy have had a beef since the beginning of time, and a lot of it mirrors what's going on today with Gucci, Pooh Shiesty, and potentially Yo Gotti. For those of you who didn't know, essentially, Gucci and Jeezy actually collaborated on Gucci's first hit, Icy, way back in 2005. Jeezy thought it would be on his debut album, Let's Get It Thug Motivation 101, but instead Gucci used it for his independent album, Trap House, and Jeezy claimed he never got paid for the track. So a couple months later, Jeezy puts a bounty on Gucci Mane's chain, declaring it on the song Stay Strapped, rapping, I got a bounty on that stuff, my guy, 10 stacks. So if you come to your town and you just happen to snatch that mother effer off his neck, I'm gonna shoot you the 10 stack, man, so I can cremate that mother effer.
I want that bullshit. Icy chain. Matter of fact, I got a bounty on that 10 stacks, man.
Gucci would reply just a couple days later, calling Jeezy a B-word on the song Round 1, but the exchange would get a lot more heated than just shots traded back and forth in the studio, because on May 10th, when Gucci was visiting a female friend, 4 men broke into the house and began assaulting him. When the men threatened to shoot him, Gucci grabbed his pistol and started shooting back. After hitting one of the men, everybody fled the scene. And that man ended up being Henry Lee Clark III, better known as the rapper Pookie Loc. Just days later, Gucci Mane turned himself into the police after a warrant was issued for the unaliving of Pookie Loc. Gucci maintained his innocence, and 9 months later, after being charged with murder, Gucci was acquitted since it was self-defense. And years later, even though he went head-to-head with Jeezy in a live versus, he still references this dark incident.
When I extended the invitation, I did it as a real man. Because I
told you straight off the dribble. I told you off the dribble, we can't do nothing if it ain't street. If I can't perform the truth, we can't do it.
It's all good, but let me say my piece. Let me say my piece.
Take on.
Let me say my piece. It's like this, bro. I extended my hand because I'm a real man. And the shit we came from in the street, dog, you seen it, we been through it, dog. 20 years. And when I said I wanted to do this shit for the culture, that's what I wanted to do. I brought you here to show you the world care about what the we got going on, because we are the culture. You feel me? Me and you, where we came from, what we been through. Us, me and you. All these kids out here doing what the fuck they do because they saw what went on with us, dog. So this shit ain't about me, this shit ain't about you. You feel what I'm saying? This shit about King Von, this shit about Dope B, this shit about Nipsey Hussle, this shit about motherfucking Pop Smoke.
Now, the Jeezy beef will play an important role in this story shortly, but for now it's just important to note that Gotti ultimately thought Jeezy didn't mess with him because Gotti had collaborated with Jeezy on a remix to one of his songs. And that would seem like a pretty valid reason, right? Jeezy is probably the biggest rapper in Atlanta at the time, second to Tip, and he's also Gucci's biggest rival. So Gotti, not only just releasing an album on the same day as Gucci, 10/17, also now collaborating with Jeezy, it was all a slap in the face. But Charlemagne, while Gotti was on the Breakfast Club explaining this to the world, some even deeper information was revealed in that Yo Gotti had actually slept with Gucci Mane's current wife, Keisha Kior, before Gucci had married her. And Gotti admitted this in his Breakfast Club interview.
I hit Holmes up, like, because, you know, when you consider somebody a partner, to me, that's the way you, I hit him up, like, what's up with you, Holmes? He like, what you mean, what's up? He didn't even speak about what he tweeted. He was like, oh, man, you put Jeezy and Tip on the Racks remix. Jeezy tried to kill me. Man, you and Holmes been in the same city 28 years and you just not realizing it.
Then he went to jail and you started dating Keisha Dior.
Nah, then it was like, to me, I still felt like he was cool because like, then he got on the radio and said something. That's when it was like, okay, I don't cross that line. Like, it'll never be like, we cool no more.
Now I'm gonna go bang his girl.
I had already done that.
Oh, okay. So you banged your partner's girl?
Damn, guy. You ain't my friend, man.
I ain't know, like, you know, like, you in love and all that.
Yeah, I got you.
You know, I'm thinking it ain't nothing like, were they about to get married or nothing like that. Like,
so keep in mind, this is now the woman who basically has full access to Gucci Mane's phone, social media, his entire life essentially, to avoid him from doing or saying something he'll regret during a bipolar episode. This is the same woman that held Gucci Mane down when he was doing all of those years in prison. This is his wife. And Yo Gotti, who was supposed to be Gucci Mane's friend, admitted to sleeping with her. Now, before Keisha was doing the whole thing of, you know, taking Gucci's phone, removing his social media so he can't go on there and say something he regrets when he is suffering from a mental health episode, back in 2013 when all this was going down, Gucci didn't have the support like that. So there was one day, most of you guys probably know, where he had that infamous rant on Twitter where he attacked Nicki Minaj, Drake, Rick Ross, and obviously a lot more, right? Like, this was a generational rant. This was Gucci Mane's control verse. Like, the way Kendrick called out all those rappers on that verse, Gucci did the same on Twitter. And obviously Gotti was one of the many rappers that Gucci called out on Twitter around this time. But what's interesting is a couple hours later, he ends up apologizing for the rant. But he only directly apologizes to Birdman, Rick Ross, and Drake. He was incarcerated at the time. He admitted that he was suffering from an addiction to lean. It was a difficult period for him in his life, and he even reflected on it in a book recently, but again, made specific references to certain rappers that he felt he disrespected, but he made no mention of the fact that he disrespected his once close collaborator, Yo Gotti.
I was super embarrassed and hurt by the things I said because, like, I wasn't well then, right? So then I got locked up. So a lot of those people who I was saying stuff to, they were like, they ain't never gonna mess with me no more. So even when I got out 3 years later, I still was like, I apologize to Ross, Drake, Nicki, like all them people accepted my apologies. They just don't know. It's like a weight off my shoulders because I had been like, because I was wrong. Like, Ross hadn't did nothing but help me. And I said something about
So it makes you think, with Gucci coming out of prison finally by 2016 and being a changed man seemingly, the change being so drastic people even thought he was cloned, you would think that ultimately Gucci and Gotti can put their issues aside. I mean, by 2016, 2017, they're more focused on being CEOs than, you know, rap superstars. So the fact that Gotti was trying to put his mixtape out on 10/17, that should be water under the bridge at this point. At this point also, Gucci seems to be trying to get that water under the bridge with Jeezy, putting their issues aside to actually collaborate on a verses.
20 years. And when I said I wanted to do this for the culture, that's what I wanted to do. I brought you here to show you the world care about what the we got going on because we are the culture.
So if Gucci's issues with Yo Gotti stem from Yo Gotti putting Jeezy on a remix, then you'd think at this point Gotti and Gucci can bury the hatchet since Gucci and Jeezy are reconciling their differences, right? Well, they never did in the public eye to this day. And remember, there was one other potential reason as to why Gotti and Gucci were beefing in the first place, and that was none other than Keisha Kior. See, when Gucci got out of jail, that's when Keisha Kior began standing right by Gucci's side, and they eventually got married. In late 2025, Hernandez Govin, the man who was charged with organizing the daytime ambush killing of Memphis rapper Young Dolph, who also had beef with Yo Gotti, Hernandez was basically found not guilty. And once he was a free man, he ended up sitting down with No Jumper, where he details the history of the beef between Gucci Mane and Yo Gotti. Now, according to Hernandez, Gotti allegedly was possibly sleeping with Gucci's wife while Gucci was locked up. And because of that, their beef could never be squashed. Now, remember that name, Hernandez Govin, because that's going to play an important role with what's going down with Pooh Shiesty today.
I think when they had the issue back in the day about when Gucci had the issue when Gotti was supposed to drop on 10/17. Okay, yeah. And they had a show coming up soon right after Gucci went on the radio or whatever it was and had his rant. And what I was told, Gucci didn't show up to that show because it supposed to have been like immediate smoke after that. And he didn't show up or whatever. But yeah, so you know, if he didn't squash his beef with Yo like he did everybody else, I think it's more so about the girl, his wife, And no disrespect to her, but would you be willing to squash some beef with somebody who had sex with your wife? You know, maybe while you was in prison, I don't know when it was or whatever.
Oh Lord.
And supposed to be your friend.
But now this is where it gets even crazier. Another Memphis native, Stan G. He also got on a jumper when Pooh Shiesty was locked up. And he didn't just confirm that Gucci Mane and Yo Gotti still had beef, but he said that Gucci was using business war tactics to essentially sign the best talent in Memphis so that Yo Gotti, who's obviously a Memphis native, could now not sign these up-and-coming Memphis artists, but even worse than that, he can no longer collaborate with them, right? Because if they're signed to Gucci, they can't affiliate with Yo Gotti. Gucci was cornering the market. Huh? And Stan G says it wasn't just with Gotti. This is the same tactic Gucci used at the height of his beef with Young Jeezy. Because if you guys remember the original 1017 Brick Squad record label, Gucci Mane had every single fire Atlanta up-and-comer under his belt at one point. Did he actually put pen to paper and like sign any of these guys in a real contract? A lot of them no, but check out the Wikipedia page of 1017's roster. Guys, this is insane. Waka Flocka, Yo Gotti himself, Young Thug, Young Scooter, Pee Wee Longway, Chief Keef, Mike Will, Migos, Lil Baby, Soulja Boy, Shawty Low, Metro Boomin, Rich Homie Quan, R.I.P., Bankroll Fresh, R.I.P., Future. Do you see how many Atlanta legends slipped through the cracks and were under Gucci's wing, almost signed to him, but he couldn't get that dotted line? A big part of that was allegedly revenge on Jeezy, where Jeezy can now no longer associate with all of these legends from Atlanta, right? Everyone who was defining the next era of trap music, if they were standing next to Gucci, they couldn't collab with Jeezy. So he's missing out on working with the hottest artists. And same thing did happen with Yo Gotti and Memphis artists when Gucci Mane got out of jail and revamped the new 1017.
This is Stan G, Whack 100's op. Stan G is from Memphis and knows Memphis street politics. He says Gucci Mane is using war tactics on Yo Gotti.
Why you think Gucci dropped the whole label? You think he ain't sitting back waiting on Shiesty and Foogiano? So you don't think there were war tactics? What Gucci was doing, locking down Atlanta, signing everybody in Atlanta when he got into it with Jeezy, locking that city down, got into it with Gotti, signed the whole Memphis. Now they can't mess with him. Signed like 9 artists from Memphis. Everybody he dropped was a Memphis artist. It was about that girl, bro. Every time he get into it with something, he locked the city down. Then he went to Memphis and, look, I'm signing all these bulls from Gotti hood. Gotti ain't gonna never mess with them for it because you was already rocking with Gucci before. War tactics get real in the South too.
Fan of anything coming out of Memphis. I think I've been influenced the most by maybe Project Pat more than anybody. It's just all Memphis rappers, Kingpin, Skinny Pimp, Tommy Wright III, 8 Ball and MJG. So when I was hustling, I always was playing Memphis rappers. I felt like they had such an underground scene. That's what I gravitated to, like the most gutter music is what I want to hear.
So the new 1017 featured a lot of Memphis artists, but it was really Pooh Shiesty who kept the lights on at the label. Now, Pooh Shiesty said he had the option when he was coming up to sign under either Yo Gotti or Young Dolph's imprints. And I mean, again, they're the two hottest rappers out of Memphis, and Pooh Shiesty is an up-and-comer from the same city. But ultimately, one night in the middle of the night, Gucci called him, and Pooh Shiesty, knowing that, you know, if he was on CMG, Yo Gotti's label, then he couldn't work with Young Dolph, and same thing vice versa. If he was signed to Young Dolph, he couldn't work with Gotti. He decided to leave Memphis and go sign out in Atlanta to Gucci Mane's 1017.
Now, with you being from Memphis, did Dolph or Gotti reach out since they both from the same area?
Yeah, for sure.
But you never wanted to sign with them, or they just never offered a deal, or it just wasn't the right situation?
Like, I ain't gonna lie, I ain't never wanted to sign to nobody. It's just my mentality. And you know, in the city, it's like you gotta sign to either one of them. You gotta be paper out of CMG. So before WAP came out, I'm still Chopper Gang. This is my label. So I wanted to be like, why you can't be signed to Chopper Gang, CMG, or paper route? Then WAP came, boom, perfect sense, you know. One day, he texted me on Instagram. I couldn't believe this shit.
So he just sent you a DM?
Yeah, he texted me, he said, what's up, home? I couldn't believe it. I grabbed my phone, get up. He was like, I'm fucking with your music, home. Who you doing this shit with? Man, I put my clothes on, shoot to Pop's house. Then my manager, I wake his ass. I said, wake up, bro, look. I showed him, he couldn't believe he get the sweat. He said, right then and there, though, while I'm showing him, he texts back. He said, this my number, FaceTime me. I FaceTime him right there. We was on FaceTime for like 6 hours.
Word.
Now, Pooh Shiesty sees success right off the rip. He has a massive top 10 hit with Back in Blood in 2021. He's on the XXL freshman class. He's definitely one of the ones that's next up, and Gucci knows this. And in an attempt to try to build out his label, he also signs Pooh Shiesty's cousin, Big Scar. They definitely had some success in the pandemic days, dropping some hits in late 2020, but by the summer of 2021, Pooh Shiesty is arrested in relation to a shooting at a strip club in Northwest Miami-Dade. He faced 8 years behind bars, and as you guys probably know, he got out about 4 years after this in October of 2025. Before getting out, Pooh Shiesty faced a massive loss. In 2022, his cousin Big Scar ended up losing his life to an accidental drug overdose. With Pooh Shiesty locked up, his funds tied up, and Gucci Mane having signed both Pooh and his cousin Big Scar, it would make sense that as the owner of the record label that both family members are signed to, Gucci Mane would help put up money for Big Scar's funeral costs. And while that was true to an extent, he did put up $10,000. Scar's sister ended up getting on Instagram saying that this was a slap in the face to the family. Gucci Mane was not supporting them in this time of need, even though Big Scar had made Gucci all that money. And what's even worse is she says that Gucci Mane asked that they give back the chain that Gucci gave to Big Scar.
Oh my mama, he not getting them chains back. Before anyone get to speaking on some shit they don't know about, yes, he asked for the chains back. And no, he not getting them hoes back. My brother earned this. My brother mean everything to us. And for him to do him like that is low down as F. He said he couldn't pay for the funeral because his wife's birthday coming up. Nigga, you a millionaire. Gucci, a B-I-T-C-H. Gotta get it back in blood. Then they say, sorry to hear that. F Gucci.
Real, you post this guy talking about some long live him, bro. You ain't do nothing, cuz, on God. And you ain't getting them chains, cuz. You can't get them chains. There's no way you can get them chains. The minute that them folk called your phone to see if you gonna pay for the funeral, you blocked them. That's not real, cuz. On God, that's not real. I thought Gucci was rich too. Ha, fooled all us.
Funeral paid for. That 10K went to flowers. Flowers high. We still got a casket. He getting cremated. He getting put up in a museum. Bitch would not be able to walk on my brother's grave. He ain't getting put in no ground. He ain't getting buried with no chains. He not getting them chains back. Period. At the end of the day. Receipts that Annabelle uploaded. For the bill. And on receipts. Like I said, we on the receipt 10,000. What the other 10 is, I don't know. But yeah. Yeah. I'm at work with my feet up, making boxes. That 10K ain't did shit but buy obituaries and flowers, boo. This shit ain't here with no obituaries and flowers, boo. 10K ain't shit. My brother was way more worth, baby. My brother worth more than 10K. Quit playing with me. Quit playing with me. Yeah, Gucci son 10,000, and it was somebody else on another 10. So it was 20,000 in all.
Now, Pooh Shiesty couldn't have liked this too much because in January of 2024, while he was still incarcerated, he can be heard on a jail phone call actually saying that there is no OG and no CEO above him. Now, this is obviously a shot at Gucci Mane considering the fact that he was signed to Gucci. And just a year before this, Gucci Mane is in this back and forth with Pooh's cousin over the fact that Gucci was not supporting their family during this time of need.
Yeah, man, you know I do too much. I'm Mr. Go Too Far. I'm the biggest, ain't no CEO or OG over me. I'm CEO status. King Shiesty slamming the dude.
Now, a couple months after this, Gucci Mane puts up a weird post on his Instagram page, ironically almost on 10/17, October 17th. See, now Yo Gotti is doing better than ever, right? He's got his CMG imprint and they're signing superstars left and right. Moneybagg Yo, out of here. Glorilla, out of here. Black Youngsta. Meanwhile, Gucci, who had obviously tried to corner the Memphis market, rally up as many young Memphis artists as he could so that they now could not work with Yo Gotti, Year after year, tragedy keeps striking the 1017 imprint. Pooh Shiesty gets locked up. His cousin, who's also signed to Gucci, loses his life to an accidental overdose. He signed a female MC by the name of Enchanting from Texas, and she also passed away to an alleged overdose in 2024. Foogiano ends up getting locked up. He's got a bunch of other artists that don't end up making much noise, so what Gucci decides to do by the end of 2024, on 10/17 to be exact, is essentially just announce that he's going to drop every single artist off his roster, let them get out of their contract and find a new opportunity, except for Foogiano, who's incarcerated, and Pooh Shiesty, who at the time is locked up. And I could be wrong here, but when you listen to this video, it almost sounds like Gucci is taunting Pooh Shiesty in a certain sense, because he's saying that he's going to let all of his other artists get out of their contracts because he's not a selfish guy. He could keep them tied into their contracts with no opportunity to grow at the label, but he's going to let them find new opportunity. But meanwhile, he's saying that he's not going to let go of Pooh Shiesty and let him also go find those new opportunities. I mean, I understand Pooh Shiesty actually had a developed fan base and career, so it wouldn't make sense to drop him, but just the way that Gucci worded this was a little strange.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Listen, I wanted to make this announcement on 10/17 yesterday, but I just seen like my statement, my P&L with all my artists. You know, it's almost like a whole bunch of shake-up and it's a whole shit show in the industry right now. But when I look at my P&L and me being a businessman, I think that I'm gonna have to release almost all my artists except for Pooh Shiesty and Foogiano. This is a decision I didn't want to make. I thought about it, you know what I'm saying? I could keep all of them under the contract. But I said, hey, fuck it. Let's just make the unselfish decision and, let them take their talents elsewhere. So today, you know what I'm saying, I already reached out to all of my artists, you know what I'm saying, to their lawyers and whatever, and let them know that they're free to take their talents elsewhere. And I'm still looking for new talent to pair up with, you know what I'm saying, Pooh and Foo, and that's where I'm gonna put my focus, and I just wish them the best.
In the end, it's smart that Gucci did not drop Pooh Shiesty because Pooh would come out and be bigger than ever. When he was first released from prison in October 2025, Gucci Mane was asked in an interview if he was still cool with Pooh Shiesty, and he said of course, and that he has big plans for the next stage of Pooh Shiesty's career.
Shiesty, he home. He's still on the label.
100%.
Oh yeah.
Shiesty, I got big plans for Shiesty, man.
Yeah.
That's what I've been waiting on, Shiesty.
Yeah.
So finna go up through there now. And Pooh finna come out too, and I got big plans for him too. I got to just execute these plans.
Everything right on time.
Bro, it's very exciting times now.
Yeah.
I've been waiting on them, I can't lie.
Gucci also welcomed Pooh Shiesty home with an Instagram post saying, "Welcome home to my guy Pooh Shiesty. The energy's different now. Same hustle, new chapter. Shiesty back and free the only way it's supposed to be. Real ones never fold. Time to shake the streets up. WAP is proud of you. 10/17. So from Gucci's side right now, it's all love. But things would seem a little different on Pooh Shiesty's end, because right when he was released, he got on Instagram as well. But his message was a little different. Remember, Pooh Shiesty, when he was incarcerated, was on a jail phone call saying he had no CEO, right? Well, he gets on Instagram and says, "Mob Ties Global and my camera guy, Solo Surdy, are the only two people in the world that gave me something on my release. No label, no family, no rap guys, no friends, no homies, not even a B person on Trade Day. And I ain't ever told, I never went out like a HOE, I didn't put on, not kept it real, not stand on it, business ain't let stuff slide." So he's basically saying here, when he was released from prison, no one did nothing for him, no one gave him anything, right? And this kind of aligns with Gucci Mane not giving Big Scar's family anything when Big Scar passed away.
Big Scar passing away, like, I could agree with me being in there and having some alone time to think. I could really agree with it, but like to this day, I still ain't really got over that, you know what I'm saying? So it's my little cousin, like, I was there, every step of the way until, unfortunately, I wasn't there no more, So me coming home to that, like being in there when you hear a death and you get the bad news, it don't feel real, especially like without you being able to go to a funeral or see him like right there, so. It's like a whole different world in there, so it ain't feel real. But me getting out here not being able to see him or call him or him to tell me welcome home, still messing with me up for real, so I ain't really got over it yet. Dude was like a real comedian for real, He had a good heart. He had a big heart too. And once he messed with you, he'll give you the shirt off his back. So he was the one, like, he was the black sheep too on his side. Like, nobody had went far as he went. He was the one. I just wish I was there with him, like, to keep him balanced and, you know what I'm saying? Like, we feed off each other. He'll tell me when I'm wrong. I tell him when he wrong. Like, we salute each other once we do good. And that's my little cousin and my kinfolk for sure.
So here's where things get weird. We don't see Gucci Mane and Pooh Shiesty link up, collaborate, no Instagram pictures, no nothing. And for the first 2 months as a free man, Pooh Shiesty is quiet, which is kind of weird, right? You'd think you capitalize off the hype of coming home to your fans after 4 months of being incarcerated, right? Maybe it took a while for the business to get in order. Maybe it took a while for Pooh Shiesty to cook up. But finally, in December 2025, he releases his first day out song to the world, and it's a massive hit right off the rip. And if you look at the credits on streaming platforms, it actually says it was released under Gucci Mane's 1017 label. So maybe everything is all good between them. But here's where things get weird. Like I showed you guys earlier in the video, Pooh Shiesty had actually mentioned in his song that in Memphis he has Yo Gotti toting a Drake. Again, like I said before, this could only either be a diss towards Yo Gotti or towards Gucci Mane. He's either saying that he himself is riding with Gucci Mane, and because of his influence within his hometown, Pooh Shiesty's influence within Memphis, he has Yo Gotti toting a Draco for his own protection. Basically, like, Pooh Shiesty's rolling with Gucci Mane, so Yo Gotti should probably be protected if he's outside, because Pooh Shiesty will basically inherit Gucci Mane's beef. But the other meaning that this bar could have had was that Pooh Shiesty was actually paying homage to Yo Gotti, basically saying, like, I'm standing next to Yo Gotti. And why I think it's probably the latter is because, like I showed you guys before, after he was released from prison, Pooh Shiesty was filming himself in the studio with Yo Gotti's artist, Glorilla. Why would he do that if he's still connected to Gucci, right?
Let's go. Please don't tell the kids don't get the stills don't get a blunt, man. Pop out, we think dog.
Now here's where things get darker. Remember that name, Hernandez Govin, right? The guy who was charged with orchestrating the unaliving of Young Dolph. The guy who was on No Jumper just a few months ago talking about how Gucci Mane and Yo Gotti's beef derives from Gucci's wife, Keisha Kior, who Yo Gotti may or may not have slept with while Gucci was locked up. Yeah, well, now a couple days ago, Hernandez gets on Instagram and he starts making some bold claims. He says that Gucci Mane was kidnapped and robbed by people on behalf of Pooh Shiesty, allegedly. And it was allegedly so that Gucci Mane could be forced into signing Pooh Shiesty out of his 1017 record label contract. And he also alleges that Gucci Mane was robbed for his own wedding ring. They took it.
Hey, I don't know who need to hear this, man, but no, I'm lying. Hey, Gucci Mane, LaFleur, you went and signed 100 from Memphis, Tennessee to try to antagonize Gotti all because he f***ed your wife. Then you dropped them and killed Pooh, and not Gotti done took Pooh Shiesty from you. How it feel to have a Memphis nigga, man, take your wife and your #1 artist? You gotta tighten up, Gucci. All that goofy you were doing. Signing 100 from Memphis, Tennessee. You ain't never heard the mixtape. Just signing it, trying to antagonize. And you know we know about the other shit that just happened too. Yeah, we're gonna run that later on though, Gucci. Real shiesty around here, I see. Hey, y'all pray for Gucci, man, cause just about to break. Crazy. Hey, Gucci LaFleur, you know I grew up around my granddad and them, bro. They say when you get married, man, you supposed to always keep your wedding ring on. Always keep your wedding. My bad, Gucci. You don't know what yours is. Hey, check this out, man. This message for you is in my inbox asking me to take my video down. Man, you need to be trying to call your and get her to take her ad down our back page, man. And you got a better chance of marrying Oprah Winfrey before I take it down, man. I won't give a where you was from. South Memphis, North Memphis, Orange Mound, Atlanta, Memphis, Oregon. They don't give a fuck. It ain't a nigga breathing that can muzzle me. The only nigga that could call me and ask me to take it down is Whack 100. And cause I know Whack with Gucci.
And the only reason why I do it for Wack, because I know he'll do it for me. But other than that, nigga breathe. God ain't create a nigga. They can call me and tell me to do a thing. See, the difference between me and the other niggas is you niggas soft. And you be scared of a collision. I ain't. So find something else to do, bro. Because I run this social media. Hey, this for you in the comments, man, and act like you got an ice cream cone on your face. Talking about I need to be scared of Gucci. I'm worried about Charleston white pepper spraying me.
After this, you also had YouTuber Seti Nash. I suggest you guys check him out. Dope channel. He claims to be connected to all this stuff. He claims to have a flawless track record when it comes to breaking street news. He's never wrong, apparently. He says Gucci Mane was set up Suge Knight style. If you guys don't know, back in the day, Suge Knight, when he wanted someone to sign something or get something done, business-wise, he used to threaten them, rob them, allegedly use violence to get what he wanted. And apparently, same thing happened to Gucci Mane. Now, it's important to remember, Pooh Shiesty, he is on probation. He just got released, right? So he allegedly doesn't actually know this went down, but he was trying to get off Gucci Mane's label for a while at this point, ever since the big Scar stuff. So people handled it on his behalf, and Pooh Shiesty is no longer 1017. Even though we saw on the First Day Out song a couple months ago that it said that it was released through the 1017 label, that won't be happening any longer. But can you guess where he may go? Where his new record label might be? Stay tuned.
Believe me, don't believe me, but y'all know when I break down street shit like this, I'm never wrong. So now that you're all caught up, here's what happened. Can't tell you the day, but Gucci Mane, that wedding ring, gone. Yeah, they hit him with the Suge Knight, bruh. They took Gucci Mane wedding ring and they took his watch. So Gucci, you know this is 100% true. Hit me up, I can get you it back. But as it stands right now, bruh, Gucci Mane walking around wedding ringless right now, and he ain't got no watch. I'm not gonna say who robbed him. Pooh Shiesty was not there, but it definitely went on after Pooh Shiesty left. Pooh Shiesty and Gucci Mane got into an altercation as far as a little back and forth. Pooh Shiesty wasn't hearing shit that Gucci Mane had to say. Gucci Mane want Pooh Shiesty on the team, but hell nah. So what ends up happening is Space in the Place. Can't give you too much specific details because if I do, then y'all know that's all bad. But as soon as Pooh Shiesty got up out of there, left, got in his car, pulled off, he ain't knowing what the hell going on. All he knows is he happy that Gucci Mane signed him up out that goddamn deal. But after that, after Pooh Shiesty was in the clear, because he don't know shit about this, so he gonna be reading about and hearing about this as as I'm letting y'all know this shit right now. They robbed his ass. For surely robbed goddamn Gucci Mane. Robbed his ass out of his ring, robbed his ass out of his watch. So he running around here right now. It didn't happen in Atlanta. That's as far as I can give y'all right there. There's more details on the way, and it will be dropping. But as far as much as I want to give to the internet, yeah. That boy Gucci Mane had to release Pooh Shiesty. Pooh Shiesty is no longer signed in 1017. And Gucci Mane no longer has his wedding ring and no longer has his watch. But Gucci, you can holler at me. I can get it back for you, bruh. Other than that, man, breaking news. Believe me, don't believe me, but y'all know when I break down street shit like this, I'm never wrong.
Now, after this, you had a bunch of different media personalities coming out of the woodworks with their own opinion or recap of what's been going down. Wack 100, Adam 22, but the most interesting one being Tasha K. She tweeted out yesterday saying, yes, allegedly Gucci Mane was kidnapped by Pooh Shiesty and held at gunpoint until he signed a contract releasing Pooh Shiesty from his Death Row Records 2.0 situation. A very strong source connected to the situation called me and filled me in. There was no confirmed robbery, just an alleged contract release so that Pooh Shiesty could freely sign to Yo Gotti. On Monday, I'll drop the rest of the details. This is allegedly the reason Pooh Shiesty was arrested, and they're allegedly trying to cover it up, if what I'm being trolled is true. Everything is allegedly, even my name is allegedly. What she's referring to here is with the whole Pooh Shiesty being arrested thing is that he was taken back into a halfway house. But that was days before all this information even came out. So take all this stuff with a grain of salt, right? But there's a lot of signs that something most definitely happened, allegedly. Because if you take a look at Gucci Mane's Instagram page, you could see his Welcome Home Pooh Shiesty post has been deleted. At the same time, Pooh Shiesty, who did no talking about an album on the way, is now teasing new music on his Instagram with the caption saying album mode. Posting this again on the exact same day that reports start coming out that Gucci Mane was kidnapped in order to let Pooh Shiesty out of his contract. There's also an alleged video of Gucci Mane having an altercation that just leaked. We don't know where this is from or if it's even real. Everything could be AI, and you'll see some more scary AI very shortly in this video.
Gucci Mane crashed out allegedly after Pooh Shiesty and his demons came to collect. TikTok, I'm just gonna say they fake.
Now, the crazier AI aspect of this whole thing is that, remember on Pooh Shiesty's new song, he was name-dropping Yo Gotti. He was seen in the studio with Glorilla, Yo Gotti's artist. Yo Gotti and Gucci Mane do not get along, right? So this was kind of Pooh Shiesty's subliminal way of saying, I'm not rocking with Gucci Mane right now. Many people thought that this whole situation was true, that Gucci Mane did get robbed and forced into letting Pooh Shiesty out of his contract. And it was also that Pooh Shiesty can now join Yo Gotti's CMG label. And with all the speculation, people were looking for answers. So they went on Google, and this is the messed up thing about AI in 2026. Because when you look up Pooh Shiesty is signed to CMG, like, I'm not even asking AI the question. I'm making the statement myself, saying that Pooh Shiesty is signed to CMG. The little AI thing at the top of Google that like just kind of summarizes whatever you're looking up, it now says that Pooh Shiesty is really signed to CMG. Look how messed up this is. It says, yes, Pooh Shiesty is signed to CMG, Yo Gotti's label, having made history as the first artist to get a full deal and launch his own imprint, CGE, under Yo Gotti's labels. And what are their sources for this? Well, it says, per recent 2026 reports. What are those reports, you might ask? Well, one of their sources is a random Instagram post where Pooh Shiesty is showing love and giving respect to Main Music and BG. These two artists have nothing to do with Yo Gotti's CGE label or Pooh Shiesty, leaving Gucci Mane or anything. This has nothing to do with any of that, but this is where it gets even crazier, you guys, okay? So the second source they have is a Facebook video with the caption saying, from artist to executive, Pooh Shiesty makes CMG history with landmark deal and launches his own imprint, CGE. This isn't just a contract, it's a power move. Now, let me give you guys one pro tip to being able to uncover if you're listening or reading AI versus a real human. If it gives you one of those sentences like, this isn't just blah, 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 it's much bigger. Like, let's say there's like a video about like the, beef between Gucci Mane and Pooh Shiesty. If in the video the narrator says something like, this isn't just a beef, it's an empire crumbling down. Or this isn't just a robbery, it's a war between rap titans. Like any sentence like that, you know it's AI, all right? So you'll know next time if you're watching some AI slop. But I bring that up to say, it's not just the caption where they're literally just inventing the fact that Pooh Shiesty has signed this deal. You know it's fake AI garbage because the video that's tagged along with this caption is an AI generated video of Pooh Shiesty in the studio with Yo Gotti signing paperwork. I mean, to fall for this, guys, is crazy. It's like he's not dancing like a normal human would, and it doesn't even look like Pooh Shiesty. Now, do you see how cooked the times that we're living in are when like AI is basically feeding you misinformation when you Google something, and then the way that they prove the lies that they're telling you on AI is by citing sources that are more AI. Like, I look up, is Pooh Shiesty signed to CMG? Google's AI tells me, yes, he's signed to CMG. And the way that they prove he's signed to CMG is by showing me another AI-generated video of Yo Gotti and Pooh Shiesty. It's AI on top of AI hijacking our brains. It's fried. Now, Hernandez also spoke with Traplo Ross on the phone, and he said that on everything he has, the world will never see Gucci Mane and Pooh Shiesty together again. And while I think AI is definitely capping about Pooh Shiesty signing to Yo Gotti, I don't think he made any sort of business moves yet. I definitely think if he's not out of his contract with Gucci Mane at this point, he is very close to trying to figure out a way to separate himself from the 1017 imprint. And I'm calling it right now. I mean, just based off the music he's previewed and the music he's released, Pooh Shiesty is about to go on a crazy run, similar to something like we saw with maybe Lil Durk or Lil Baby or Da Baby in the early 2020s. We're definitely about to see that with Pooh Shiesty's next album. So it makes sense that Gucci Mane wants to keep him signed to his label, but it also makes sense given everything that went down between Big Scar and Gucci Mane, and now Pooh Shiesty getting out and saying that no one was there for him when he was released, no one came and supported him. It wouldn't surprise me if he wants nothing to do with Gucci, and I'm sure as the days go on, we'll get more updates. If Gucci Mane really got robbed, did they really steal his wedding ring? Was he really done the same way that artists were done by Suge Knight back in the day when people used to compare Gucci Mane to Suge Knight? Is Pooh Shiesty about to bring it back home and signed to the biggest Memphis hip-hop record label right now? Let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch you in the next one.
I study
Rapaholics
for a living.